Hello and welcome to Leamington GM, located at 108 Erie Street North, Leamington, Ontario. Today we are talking about winter service tips for your car. At Leamington GM, we are talking about when to replace your brake pads. Making sure your brakes are in proper working condition and replacing worn parts like pads and shoes when the time is right will save you money in the long run. How do you know when to replace your brake pads or shoes? What are they for? Let's take a closer look at when to replace your brake pads and shoes on your vehicle. Every time you engage your vehicle's brakes, the slight friction material is worn off the pads and shoes. Over time, the friction material will become thinner. If the pads or shoes are not replaced, the friction material will be worn off entirely, exposing the steel pieces that held the material. When these steel pieces come into contact with the discs or drums, excessively long braking distance and damage to the disc and drums will result. Look for these signs to know when to replace brake pads or shoes. If a vehicle's brake pads have worn, a driver may notice a squealing, screeching, or whining noise when the brakes are engaged. A small metal attachment on the brake pad backing is in place just for this purpose. Wear indicators work on the same principle as dragging fingernails across a chalkboard. When you hear it regularly while braking, it's time to bring your car to a brake specialist for an inspection. Note that not all brake pads come with this feature, so don't rely on sound alone to address your brake's conditions. If you hear a deep, low noise that sounds like metal grinding or a rumbling growl, that can be a sign that not only are your brake pads worn away, your brake pads or shoes backing plate could be making contact with the discs or drums. Since this metal-on-metal contact can very quickly cause even further damage to your braking system, bring your vehicle into a service shop as soon as possible if you hear this type of noise. Indicator lights. Some vehicles have an indicator light on the dashboard that will signal when to replace the brake pads. Check your owner's manual to see if your car comes equipped with a low pad warning system. Remember that if the light does come on, you'll need to bring your vehicle to the dealership to replace the warning sensors as well as the brake pads. Low brake pad left. On disc brakes, you can also visually inspect your brake pads to know if it's time to have them replaced, though it may require you to remove the wheels to do this. Looking down on the brake assembly or caliper holding the brake pads, you should see your brake pads compressed against your brake rotor. If the friction material on the pad or shoe is less than 1/4 inch thick, consider having your brakes inspected, especially if it's been a long time since your last inspection. If you need your vehicle's brakes done or are unsure if they need replacing, consider booking a service appointment today to have your vehicle brakes looked at in service. Give us a call at 844-332-3065. Thank you for watching.